Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I was glad I'm able to get this live stream fitted in to my schedule today. Great. So we have our chart up here. So I think from a sentiment standpoint, we definitely hit some really, bleak times, despair, almost for some bullish traders. I definitely did see a lot less bullish posts from the call buying crowd in these areas. So we definitely were getting, we definitely had a short-term capitulation area from a sentiment, but I'm still seeing overall with sentiment, people getting still angry when you say the market can go lower. There's still anger, and if you feel angry or deny that, then that's common. Uh, and that's typically not the end of a correction. That's still the beginning phase because you need acceptance, you need to have sadness and fear. We haven't seen the real fear yet. We were getting there. I thought we were starting to see it, but then again, they come in and save the market, and they don't allow the fear to really finish the correction. So I think sentiment standpoint, we still have some work to go to the downside. Shorter time frame, we're bouncing a little bit, but I believe the bounce is going to fail. And if I say that and you guys get angry out there because I say the bounce could fail, then you're probably too long in the market. You probably don't have enough. You're probably too much of your chips are in the casino. That's all I can think of because to me, whether the market goes up or down, I'm going to make money. I could care less whether it goes up or down. I don't care, honestly. I just care about being on the right side, the right side, and then shifting when I need to. But a lot of people are getting too angry still when you say there's more downside. So I think you got to really do some introspective soul searching if you're getting angry again at the weatherman for telling you the weather's still going to be nasty out. All right, let's go to our super chats, guys. Let's go to our super chats here. Um, and if you're signing up, I appreciate it. GME is ready. I think GME is when it's ready, man, is it gonna go? But we're not giving up on that. And again, my pro members got in on GME at the recent low, and they made money on Friday. We're not perma bears, right? We're not perma bulls either. We short and we buy. So we were buying GME Thursday, and we weren't getting shaken out of our position. And then we got paid on Friday, and we may continue to paid in essentially a zero risk position. Let your winners ride. All right, thanks for the big super chat, man. I got a bunch of symbols here, and of course I'll get to as many as I can for you. Here, let's see what we've got here. All right, yeah, let's do them. Let's do it. So a bunch of symbols. V VKXT. Let's see here. Whoops. That is not coming up, so that's got to be a typo. So we'll skip over that one. SAN. Um, our last live stream, some lucky dude out there, gal, got qubits, and they made a lot. They must have made a fortune on that. So here we are. So obviously this cycle's over, right? It's pretty much over there, and looking at it here, it'll almost hit the buy area exactly, almost to the penny. So more than likely, this cycle's over, right? This is in a whole new bull market. And it looks like it's about to go into 3 of the grand super cycle. So this is where you just hold your position and you go trade something else. But you probably need to hold it for years and years of gains. So, I mean, the shorter cycle, see, it's a race and divergence because it's going to extend to come out of the correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I would forecast more upside. There's no reason to sell this. No reason to sell it. And what do these guys do? These guys are some kind of banking service company. Yeah, I think I've heard of them actually. So that looks good. Looks good to me. All right, Baidu. Baidu is lagging the rest of China, so you can back into the low. This is our Baidu chart, guys. We do watch it. So Baidu, we had the original buy in October 22, and essentially went vertical, and it's been in a correction ever since. And we know at some point it's going to end, no matter however I want to label this. Again, I labeled it like this, and it could very well be done here. So backing into the low, it has to hold 77. Because if it can't hold 77, like I show here, it's going into the abyss. It will go much lower. 54, 30. So with the idea of backing into the low, we could trade bullish. So we'll probably just put that 2 in, and then it looks like you have an a 5-wave move up off of here, and some kind of flat that's finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the bullish divergence on that peak. So more than likely, it's about to play catch up. It's probably about to play catch up. So something like this, you can see, and if you're really lucky, we can get this 3-wave move down to this area here, to 88, 87, to get a better entry, to re-enter the long side. Right there. So that's a better entry if we can get that, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. And we're going to add that to our watch list. This one on our watch list. Okay, next is Luke MF, a miner. I'm still not 100% convinced on our miners, but this chart, like I said, it showed 3, 3, 3. So it's got to either make it needs a 5th wave. So it needs a 5th wave to finish the move. Okay, if it can't do that, it's corrective. But there's no reason to think it won't make a 5th wave. So we should assume it will make a 5th wave until the market proves us otherwise by taking out 71 cents. It looks like a nice 3-wave move down here. Hit the buy area, and then reacted higher for 5. So looks good to me. Looks like should make one more high and extend higher. MOS, again, it should be supported a little bit if the Russell's coming back. Oh, this is Mosaic. Sorry, my bad. Wrong one. This is our count on MOS. Just a big 3-way move, big connector, and it should be turning higher. Again, this is stuff that may be working in the future. Well, tech may not work in the future for a while. That's how I would look, and we broke the high. So now you have a higher high. So that should open up more upside, and that's another one we'll add to our watch list. A lot of my stock ideas come from you guys too, because I can't track all these symbols either. I can't get them all. All right, EXAS. So it needs to hold 40.69 to keep this bullish structure in place. It looks like it's turning. It looks like it's trying to turn here. It could be like you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and maybe that 5 extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, and then you came down. But you see how you didn't erase that divergence here on this leg? That's very suspicious, but it has to hold 41.85. So I don't want to trade it here because of that. I would be really careful that it isn't in a bigger correction potentially. There's a chance it could be this as well, and I'm leaning that it's this way, that this is the count, some kind of WXY, and some kind of WXY. I'm leaning that that's the count because of the 4 hours. So be careful if you're in it. I think if you look at the XBI, it's not where it needs to be yet, right? And this is a biotech. If I think it's biotech. Let me just, I assume it is. Let me see. Yeah, some kind of bio. So my guess is this is what's going to happen. All right, good luck on that. BA, Boeing is one that we have really haven't been paying attention to. So this is our chart. We were thinking to get the rejection at 214. It may already be rejected, but then you see the sequence we're in right here, this connector. It looks like it maybe made 5 up here, and it did. So we're still looking for 214. We're still looking for up here. So this is erratic. It could turn into a lot of things here. It could be like this. It could stop here and go up. It could turn into a triangle like this. Too many things. So it's in a connector. I do expect another leg lower that will take out this low, and more than likely that low soon, possibly hitting these lower areas. Again, if airlines are getting the customers because nobody's flying right now, if the government is broke and cutting back, who's buying planes? No one's buying planes right now. So just understand that that's what this is maybe telling us. Now, I always thought this could be company-specific calamity. It could still be, but maybe this is all about the economy here. And this is just some big bearish consolidation pattern. But I don't want to chase it here. Now, once we break this low, we could start to short it. But for now, I'll just stay on the sidelines. Regeneron is another one that we've charted. Trying to find the connector. We thought this was the connector. It looks like we have a connector here. So that's not the target. It's correcting its grand super cycle below off top. It was a COVID darling that is trying to find its next trick. Now, it's interesting. See, the peak is here and not here and here. It looks like you reset, and now you've reset the whole thing. So let's look at the monthly. The same count. So early in its life, it had a big pump. Yeah, here it is, a big pump. Yeah, this stock made everyone rich, I guess, if you were smart enough to get in on it here. But I believe this isn't the 3. I don't think that's the wave 3. I believe it. My guess is on this 0.15. It held that it was a higher high. So I'm going with discount for Regeneron. And you see how we closed on the peak there? And here, there's a 3, so it's a 5. So it's a tricky chart. It's a tricky chart, but I'll do my best to try to label it. something like that, but that's too short, so we'll have to get rid of that. Yeah, so then if that's not the count, so then you have to go with this being 3, 4, 5 like that. And we're correct in this cycle, but I wouldn't put 3 there. I would put 1 there, another 1. So let's see if we can do this right. So maybe something like 1, 2. We'll put that. So maybe it's if we put 4 there, and you have an ABC. So we'll have to do it in 3s. ABC, some kind of ABC, because that's how 5 end in diagonal type, blow off top. So now it's correcting. So it's likely to come back to here, possibly all the way back to 200. It is in a crash correction, which is because the 5 was a blow off top 5. You see how fast wave 5s go? They come and go, but it's likely to this bounce will fail. And again, this is another 1, right? So that's the this is the super cycle degree, and then this. Whoops, go back. Would be some lesser degree. And this is correct in that whole cycle, this whole thing. So where's the connector going to go? It obviously probably needs a bigger bounce than this, right? It looks like, look at all that hidden bearish divergence. People are selling into this. They want out, and the price isn't moving up. They want out bad. People are scared. They're panicking. This is the worst case scenario. But it could also, the connector could go higher, but it's already burned so much RSI to the upside, it may not go that much higher. If this is the connector, I would project the target back down to 179 in this area. This is the worst case scenario. In a 1-2, 1-2 count. In that box. That's the worst case. Now, it seems like the connector should continue longer and higher, and then the target will raise. I think this is a more realistic level for it to end. But again, I'm just showing you the worst case. I don't know if it's going to go that low, but it could always just crash real quick and truncate like that. So I think you just need to kind of be patient and just understand that it's correct in a major cycle that could take a long time to recover from. I mean, the historical trend line is in this box. That's how bad of a pump it was. A full round trip. They pumped this thing that bad. I don't know what's going on with the company, but that's some pretty bleak fundamentals. I don't know. I think it's likely B will rise and then fail at some point. Okay, and then the next one, last one, EXK, a silver stock, and we're not making a new high yet, which is concerning given where silver is showing divergence. But I still will go with this count. I'm still going with this until proven otherwise. But it should rally more, right? Right? It should rally more. And then we'll see what happens from there. Okay. Thanks again, guys. Jeremy, RNAZ. Well, I don't really look at the news of these stocks, so I can't tell you about warrants and all that stuff. We just look at the charts here on my channel. Um, but typically the penny stocks like this, or I call them go to zero stocks because they just go to zero. They just constantly go to zero with random pumps. They're tough to trade. Um, Looking at 5. Well, the way I trade it is I always go by so this is the big cycle here. It looks like you had 3 waves up. It could even be a bigger connector here, which is even more bearish. It's probably it. That's probably the way to label it. So this was probably some really big connector that did something like this, okay, off of this move. So it's probably doing something like this. And then this is probably your ABC. So it may be due a mega pump soon. Mega pump because you'll correct this whole cycle, this whole leg. This whole leg could be corrected soon. And then if you look even bigger picture, what if it's correcting that whole leg? You know, but we'll just focus on this leg, this 3-leg move, and see if we can dissect it here. Yeah, I can't get a target from that because it's just too bearish. So what you need now to do is track 5 waves down from this peak, and then you have to just time your entry just right, or wait for a break higher. But it's got to be getting close, right? It looks like a 1, 2 here, 3, 4. See, yeah, so it's in this 3. So it needs a bounce and another low with bullish divergence to end this move. So it actually could bounce here, but it bounce is probably going to fail. It could bounce back up to $2. It's likely to make one more low, and then you could get a mega pump, something like this, but even bigger potentially. Because look at the cycle it's correcting. It could come back up to $17, $18. So $5 is nothing. Like honestly, you could get the 5. You may get lucky and get the $5 on the 4, but that's probably too big. So I think this is it, and then you'll be correcting this whole leg. And honestly, if it's the whole thing from this peak. And it very well could be, right? I could draw something like this. And do that. And if it's correcting from this peak, then you'll be looking at $29, $30. You can dream of your Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Why it would pump like that, I have no clue. I don't know anything about the company. I'm just looking at the chart. And I'm just telling you what I see here. Now, one thing is all that divergence needs to erase, so there is a capitulation move that needs to happen, and you need to take this out on the higher time frame. So you definitely need more downside. It's not there yet. So I do believe when this 5 comes, it'll probably be a big push. So you need to erase some divergence, but then on the shorter time frame, you do want to see a little bit of it. So I don't think you're there yet, but if the company could still exist because it can always go to zero and go out on the bankruptcy, then there could be a big counter trend rally in the future here. Okay. Yeah, Viking, VKTX. I'll do VKTX if that's what the guy meant. Because that's what I thought at first. It's in our buy area here. It's trying to come out and turn. It's trying to turn here. And it maybe finished its major correction. It filled the gap. People that followed me knew not to buy it here. And not to buy it. And we waited and waited and waited. We actually, a lot of people in my elite group, we actually got the low here and played that. Now, when we got this lower low, that concerns me though. I'm not going to lie, that lower low. So we could be in a connector off of this first wave. So there's a possibility because we're making this divergence here, and this is why I don't have it as a trade setup anymore. And you're right, it could very well pump still in B, but don't be surprised if B fails. So the setup isn't perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. And again, I could put even A here. So just I don't see what I'd like to see anymore. Like with all this divergence, and this is hidden bearish divergence. Look at this peak. The price was at 73, and now it's at 30. So the RSI is resetting in the wrong direction for another leg lower. So don't get too bullish on it. That's all I'm saying. All right, FCX. Yeah, a lot of bullish calls coming in commodities, but we need to be careful about that a little bit on the shorter time frames. Commodities are going to have a big run in the next 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years even. So FCX is a tricky chart. This is the most bearish chart, the most bearish. But there's also another chart. I could tweak the labeling and put the 2 here. And I've been going back and forth with the labeling on this because I do like this company. Is it something like this? And then if it is, we should buy it right now. Right? A 1-2-1-2. But if I look at the XME, the XME just broke the trend line. Let's look here. The XME is up 5. It's correcting the whole cycle since 2016, and we made a lower low. So it should go lower. So why would FCX go higher? I think that's why I think it does this, and that's why I'm not recommending buying it to our elite members and just yet. And the other thing is, if we look at oil, right, commodities are bullish right now, but oil, while it may get a rebound, I still see it down here and even possibly in the 30s in the short time before the big run comes. The shorter time frame in oil either shows a dip with a pump that fails spectacularly, or it's already in W off of this leg and you get X and you get another. So I don't want to FOMO in, and that's why we're still being careful in like a lot of those sectors. And we're not just like, oh, let's just go all in with our stack and get super bullish, punch drunk bullish on commodities, because I think commodities have a washout coming. Like commodities, I think, have a washout coming with the rest of the market. Like the XLE, God knows who keeps buying it. It's keeping it from going here, but somebody keeps buying it, and I think at some point it comes down here. So I'm not ready to say FCX is like pound the table buy, but maybe the sign with FCX. Maybe the sign with FCX is we have to come back over 52 just to be safe. But then you're obviously gonna miss a lot of gains. So you'll have to decide how you want to play it. This is one on your own. I'm going with the more bearish view on it right now. This view, and you guys can decide if you wanna buy it or not, and disagree with that view. Again, no divergence here. So to me, it's really 3 waves and not 5. I forced the 5 label, and we do something like this. But again, you guys decide for yourself. I think I'm not willing to buy this just yet without more evidence, more convincing evidence. I'm not willing to buy this just yet. But I know a lot of people really are hopeful. And it's so nice. It's so glad there's so much hope out there in the market. So maybe you get a short-term rally back up to 42, and then you get the 3 of 3 with the rest of the commodity sector for that capitulation move, and then we'll be like vultures, ready to buy for like long-term investment opportunity. Because this would be a major peak. Because again, is FCX correct in the move since 2016, like the XME? Is I mean, It's close, but let's look at the monthly. The monthly would be a better indicator. It's right there. It's on the cliff. It's on the edge of the cliff, looking down. You're on the edge of a cliff, which is the 3 of 3 is the edge of the cliff, right? It's the edge of the cliff. So this is where I'm going with it. All right, guys, good luck on FCX. I don't want to buy it here, but because I think it resolves lower. I really do. I really think it does, but and then when commodities get down to these areas, then I believe commodities will have a grand super cycle wave 3, commodity boom, and then things will get out of hand with commodities. And then, you'll have the Fed go, "Oh my God, what did we do?" Trump may go, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And then the whole system will collapse like it did in 2008 and 9. That's what I think is going to happen. Here's my GCC commodity index fund chart, and I still have a swing lower. Need it before we get the pump. Something kind of erratic is what I'm thinking. Something like this. That's what I'm thinking. But see how we made this lower low here? It very well could be even more bearish than this, right? I mean, this is the most optimistic view. I could even label this a different way, right? I could label this a different way, right? I could say that we're in 1 and we're still in 2. And then this was some kind of 3-wave move down in an ABC, right? Or this looks like 5. Let's see here, 3 waves. I think it's 3 waves down. A bullish divergence. So yeah, so 3 waves down. Again, I'm trying to think about what I was seeing for a minute. So I was looking at it like as a 1, 2, and finishes down like this. And then this is yeah, 5. So we'll do something like this. 1, 2, 1, maybe put the 2 there. Something like that. And then maybe it's like that. And then this. And you do something like this. And then this becomes like that. Very possible if we can't take this high out. So don't get bullish on commodities until this 2179 gets taken out, because this is like the big index fund of commodities, right? Because this chart it can be in play. This can be in play. All right, and that'll get you to 639 if this chart's in play. So again, I'm just showing you a couple ideas. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be too it, but now if we take this out, then it goes back to that other chart I showed you earlier. Okay, guys. All right. Let's go to DAX. By the way, DAX was a call we called for the pump a long time ago on my channel, and maybe some of you know and heard about that. And we had no idea the news was going to generate it. But way back here, we were doing our count, and I was like, it's like a 1, 2, 1, 2. I was like, man, this could be really bullish. You should be long this. And sure enough, that was the right call. But now I believe that wave 3 should be coming to an end at any moment, if not already. If we look here, it looks like 5 down, 3 up. And we're back testing the... so it looks like we've got another leg lower, more than likely about to emerge. And that takes you down to here. So you could see the market supported here. Again, if it's in wave 4 off of this this major cycle, again, this is a big cycle, right? Let's look at the bigger picture. Now, see, we never took this peak out. So is this a big wave 5? Let's see what we have. Maybe this is just still wave 5. Let's see here. Well, now, see, we did accelerate within the wave. Yeah, I still go with discount. So I think right now there's a couple things. We could be correct in I don't know if we're correct in the whole big three. I think it's going to extend. But I wouldn't be surprised if this wave 5 extends, this one, and it bounces here. So we don't quite know, but as you know, you're coming to the end of the move, right? I think because we didn't erase divergence on the bigger time frame, I wouldn't be surprised if we're still in that wave 5 and we don't get another 1-2 here. And it keeps going. So this, you could look to buy this here. I think you could look to buy this. I wouldn't be surprised to see the extension in 5. Again, I'm just trying to see here. Yeah. So, and if it goes any lower than that, then we have to look at the count again. So I think if I was just trading it, I would be looking for another leg lower, and then potentially a long opportunity here. Okay, and we'll keep an eye on this one. All right, Puma SE. Not looking good. Looks like 5 down with a connector here, and then it's in some kind of 5 waves down here. So maybe it's coming to an end soon. So maybe it's in a complex correction in an A, B, C, and then this C is a triangle, and in a triangle, and 1, 2, 3. Well, let's do this again. 3, 3, 3 for 1. Something like that. You'd have to play out something like that, I think, because you have to erase these divergences. So you probably still have a little bit more downside. This is the most optimistic view, by the way. The other view is essentially it's going to 0 because there's no more room on the chart. So it means, you know, game over, which we don't think so. So I think you just label it this way, and then you just label it as some ABCs, and it should do something like this is what you're hoping for, and bottoms out. Okay, Lufthansa, let's look at that. I think the airlines got decimated because of Delta's warning, and even my personal experience, because I went to the airport the other day, and it was dead. ATL was dead, and I was like, wow, this is kind of weird. So, all right, I think this is it, Lufthansa. But like all airlines, it looks like shit, So I would just, again, airlines is not where you want to be right now if the economy's going down into a recession, which I think it is. That's my fundamental view. But it's probably still in the B wave of some kind here. So probably like this. Actually, it's probably like this. And then it is something like that, or 1, 2, and we just don't see the 3 and 4 in here unless we go to a shorter time frame. That's probably what happened. Yeah, see, there's your 3 and 4. So it's just a tight. You just don't see the impulse on the higher time frame, but it's there. So it's something like this, and then you came down in A. Here 5. It looks like 5 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You come up in 3, and more than likely it's got to do another leg lower like that. do something like this, and then it could, resolve itself. My guess is this whole thing's going to break down. This whole thing will break down soon. And it looks like, to me, you've got 5 down here, unless you erased divergence and you didn't. So it looks like to me you've got the first wave here, some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your 3-wave move up. You hit your 4, it's probably about to sell off. There's your short area right there. And now down, down, down it goes. That's probably what's happened. That's probably going to happen. And then it'll finish out. So that's what I'll be looking for. And again, you kind of see the pattern, right? I mean, I'm not showing you anything you can't see here, right? And down you go. So that's probably what's going to happen to that. Bayer, let's take a look how that's doing. I thought heard they were back in the news. Again, their chart doesn't look good. Their peak is all here. So from a chart perspective, it's got to find support pretty soon. So it's probably something like a 1, 2. And then this is some kind of 1, 2. And again, we don't see the impulse, but it's probably there if we look hard enough. 1, 2. And that 3, 4 is probably somewhere in there. Like that. And then you're correcting this whole thing. So it should bottom soon, you would hope. It's about to erase divergence. If it did, this may be a triple correction, but I don't think so. Let me look at it again. No, it's a WXY. So once it erases divergence, it could be okay. It's got to finish this C leg. It looks like more downside, right? Because see how you finished that there? So it's definitely going to go lower. I think it's going to go lower. It's still in C, and we actually had a 1, 2, and now that's in a 1, 2 here. So it's got more downside, which makes sense. So the bigger cycle, I think, is tough to say. Is it finished the whole grand super cycle? I mean, I was hoping that it wasn't an extended fit, but again, it could be this. Let me see the RSI, or even worse. I mean, technically, it could even be, we don't even see that in this. It could actually be this, which is why it's losing it, and it will come all the way back down to 4, all the way back down to here. And that's kind of what this chart is showing. So maybe we have to go with the super bearish extended fifth. The extended fifth. Because that's the only chart that works. And this is the grand super cycle. So I think there's more downside. Unfortunately, more downside. And at some point, it'll be too cheap, right, for what it does. But as we know with these, you usually lose the whole 5th wave, and that would be right around here. So good luck on that. I wouldn't want to be a buyer of it. I would have no interest in buying that. All right, good morning, guys. Yeah, so they're trying to pump Intel. You noticed, again, that they did this with Starbucks, right? They got the new CEO, and then they paraded out all the smart people to say that was the greatest thing ever, and they tried to turn the stock around and all this, and it's the same thing for Intel. They're desperate to get good news into the market. They need people like you and I to buy, not to sell. So anything out there, they're going to try to over amplify good news, especially in a negative environment we have. So the chart can morph into a lot of different things. Intel's chart can morph into different things, right? And we just have to be nimble. But again, we don't stop ourselves out either, right? Okay, so maybe the short entry isn't there, but this too is still valid. The two is still valid here, okay? But even if it breaks, it's still going to be back in B then. It's still going to be in a connector. Like, so we just don't know. This was an idea that should have worked, but if it's not going to work, then we're probably still in some connector. Hold on, guys, real quick. I gotta take a minute. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. I had to take care of that real quick. So, anyway, I'm just gonna go to the super chats. Mara, I'm looking for under $10, single digits. Mara is not buying it here with the rest of the market. It's struggling like MicroStrategy is on the downtrend line. This could be a 1-2-1-2, probably the worst moment to buy it. We even broke this low, I believe we did. Let me double check it though. No, I haven't broke it yet, but once we do, you can actually start to short Mara. Oh my God, I said short Mara. Yeah, but this is what I'm looking for. All right, and then Gur is another one that we've been keeping our eyes on. And again, we're just waiting for the right opportunity to buy it with the right level of risk instead of just buying it randomly. So we did call the whole sequence over correctly here, but I believe this bounce will fail for another leg lower. But it should see more upside looking at the structure. Although it hit the area, so it's susceptible to reverse at any moment. So it's a very dangerous area. This would be just guessing. You'll just be randomly guessing and buying blind. I wouldn't short it either, but if we can make another leg lower, we'll look to buy it. Yeah, I think the head and shoulders pattern does look pretty good, right? And this is the area where you would, if you're a short, you would short right here. What negates the head and shoulders? You have to take out the 449. So that's a pretty big risk. But anyway. Yep, I gave you guys the pro group update on Tesla. LPSN. LivePerson, continuing to just grind lower here, just like we have. Right, I don't think there's any changes to that. And it looks like that's the 3. One more low. One more low. Ideally, if the swings are right. But if it could push higher and take out 113, the low's in, and it should be ready to run. We're close. All right, Zim. Zim is one that our elite members are long. We've been trying to follow this. We're looking at the bigger picture. We don't want to get caught up in the shorter swings and stop. We have a big cup and handle that should break out. And right now, if this count is right, we have 3 waves down with 5 up, with 3 down, and Friday was your opportunity to buy it. Elite members got that buy alert from me on Friday, and they should have already been in a profit because I think I gave the alert when we were here at 1750, and we closed at 1823, so I was up personally, and I believe anyone who took the trade is up. Now we tried to buy it off of this dip here because we were looking for a breakout, but it got smashed back down, so we just got out of it and got back in on it. And again, we'll fight the market on the long side every day, especially a chart that's this bullish. And now the only other more bearish view is this is some big corrective move, and we're still in 2, where we should get a bigger bounce here, but that will fail and come back to the 15-14. So that's the only other bearish view I can think of on Zim, guys. DXY is very tricky because it's in the middle area. It's like in the connector of a much bigger degree. But I believe DXY is in a WXY pattern. It's in an ABC here that I had, and I believe the B is done, and it's now going to push lower and a whole nother leg lower down to these lower areas in the lower box. And then when that is met, we should get a big rally. This should be a big risk-off move across world markets when it happens. Whenever this B finishes, we should see a big drop in the markets is what I'm thinking. But that could also, see a sector rotation. So I think we're just looking at this and now. Now, if we could come back and take this out, then it could be something else. It could even be a bigger impulse from this peak, but I'm just leaving it labeled this way. And then the GO20 year, I'm not sure, but if you mean the 10-year bonds, 10-year bonds, I still have it. I had it in a short area here, although I wasn't recommend taking it. It was like, hey, if it's going to start to go back higher rates, this would be the area where it happens. So I still have us in. We're going to see much higher rates in the future, but how we get there, we could still be in this wave too, don't get me wrong, but if we're not, we could see another 3-wave move higher here off of this box. So I would be looking for higher rates as long as we're above 4098. So I'd be looking for another move higher and potentially a much bigger move, because again, we could have this pattern, which is also this, or we could see something a little bit more like even this. So very important rate level that if we're above is very bearish for bonds. But if we break it, then I think it opens up the door to this level box. Okay. Let's see here. Cisco. Again, I don't think AI is done finishing going lower. So, but it does look like here you've got Cisco needs one more high. You've erased divergence there. That's perfect. That's perfect. So that low, this low can be in at any moment if it's 4. So we definitely should see a bounce in Cisco here. It looks like your connector, depending on where you put it, it's like right about there. Maybe here. So you're right in that area. So I do think this is the area of bounce, but we haven't got any follow through. Now, if we come back and take that low out, I think it becomes an A, and then it becomes a B, C correction. It'll become an A, B, C. It'll do something like that. But if this low can hold, it's a 3-wave move, and then you can maybe make a new high. Okay? Yeah, if BCHG broke 282, then it's going down, right? It's going down with the ship, right? And we already know crypto's going lower. So are we surprised, or let's take a look? Oh, okay. So no, this is the low that has to hold, 254, because we don't get caught up in the count. We use our levels, so it's 254. Obviously there could be risk, but again, it could still be a 3-wave move count here. This could still be a WXY here, something like this, and it could be done, and it could have truncated. So we don't stop ourselves out, but yeah, it's likely that it would go down because that low broke, but it's not guaranteed. So we have to wait to 253 breaks. So I still go with this count until that happens. Total 3, I'll look at Total 3. I think the last time I looked at it, it was still being supported. But again, we already know the crypto market's heading lower. So as you can see, we did make a lower low. So Total 3 is actually at a major peak. It wasn't in the bullish setup, got negated. So there was a chance for a big alt season, but that chance is now lost. And now it's going to go down to this level here, and the new count on Total 3 will be 5 waves up, right? It would be the more classic view 5 waves up, and I'll try to label that for you, which again, not a shocker given where we are in crypto. And again, I don't make the market. I just report the news, and this is the news is telling us it's bearish. I can't control it, and if this makes you angry, so be it. But I'm telling you, this is probably where we're going. There's our wave 4, and then maybe the market can recover and be in a 1-2-1-2 setup for much higher prices in the future. Okay, so good luck on that. AAOI, let's take a look here. AAOI did break down. It broke the low. We did get a little bit of a reaction, so now we're looking for this lower box, right? So we have the first reaction, and now we need one more leg lower, and then it should hit an area where it could find the bottom, right? And that gets you to here. So it looks like it's probably in this X wave. All right, IVVD here. If it's a biotech type, we know it's probably going lower because of the XBI, but that actually looks okay. We need to stay above 35 cents. It looks like you have 5 down with a connector, so it's in an ABC pattern. And then you have 1, 2. So yeah, it looks like definitely going lower. It definitely looks like it's going lower. And remember, this is corrective, so this could easily just keep going into the abyss. So I wouldn't think of it as being supported anytime soon, because the way I would label this is as a 1-2-1-2. It would be like a 1-2, and then this could be a lot of things. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be another 1, 2. But it does look like it's going to extend lower and probably retest this low. And then NKTX, that's another one that has been sucking wind because of the Russell and XBI. Still looking for this type of reaction here. Obviously, not in a 2. It's in a corrective connector wave. So if you still are in this, I mean, I've stopped out of this a long time ago. It actually looks like it's impulsing down. We got 3 down. So it's got to hold this low, 157, or it will turn into an impulse off of this peak. And if it does that, it's not a B. It's just going into the abyss, right? This is why we always stop out, and we can't hold trades forever. So it can easily be this, and then this was if looking back at it, this was a 1-2. As crazy as it was, this did just a feeble bounce right there. That's all the bounce we got was right there for that whole move, which seems so unlikely, but it goes to show you they may have a lot of financial problems with the higher rates coming. Who knows? All right, LVRLF. LVRLF. Again, we don't really get into these penny stocks too much, but we try to do the best we can. From the low, you have this low here, and looks like it's in some kind of flat. So more than likely it's in a 5th wave here from this peak, or maybe even that peak. Let's take a look. Probably from that peak. So what you want to do is count 5 from this low, and then it could rally, right? But you're not guaranteed. You're just guaranteed a rally, right? That's all you're guaranteed. Now this doesn't support that. Well, actually, you erase divergence there, so it's extending, and it's extending lower. So it's extending lower here, and it's probably got more downside to finish this move up. That's your 3 of 3 bottom. So something like this. So once that sequence plays out, you should have a pretty big pump. And depending on the degree of correcting, if it's correcting this whole move, the pump will be spectacular. But it definitely will correct back up to probably 11 cents wherever it finishes. Yeah, so I think you're seeing the break above the moving averages as it's bottoming out. It's going to start to basin out in this 4s and 5s, right? It's going to start to do something like this with maybe one more little dip, roll low, and then come out. That's what you're probably starting to see. You're seeing it bottom, which is, I think, the meat of the move lower is over. Volume's low. It's irritating. Yeah, I'll try to buy a new mic. I'll try to buy a new mic and try that. Okay, let me see. Deutsche Bank again. I don't know those symbols off the top of my head, but I'll do my best to get to it. And then Coppers. I don't see anything on the exchange you're looking for. So we have to use this. Let's see, Commer. So again, if it's not in trading view, I can't do it, man. Unless, oh, there it is. Okay. We'll get to that later. So, oh yeah, look at that. So we are erasing divergence. So yeah, we're still in wave 3. So we're not in wave 5. We're still extending higher, just as we expected it would. And I would just continue to stay long. It's crazy to see this bank come back to life, huh? Right? Isn't it crazy to see the chart come back? I guess we had a buy area way back on our channel here. That's crazy. I don't know who ever asked about that. I don't know. But anyway, here it is. Here's the chart. It's just pushing higher. I wouldn't sell it. Germany is doing great. I don't know, the DAX and German index, it's just really coming to life, guys. Still erasing divergence. And this bank is probably doing the same thing. It's probably in the same kind of count. So why would we do anything different? Yep, it's in the buy area here. That's the accumulation zone. And it's coming out. So it's obviously coming out of a major bear market. So this is probably still not too late to buy as a long-term investor. And it's probably got a lot more gains to go if this count holds up. It's probably race divergence, yeah. So it's just extended. And it can keep doing that. So the market is just going to leave you behind, right? It's just there's no reason to sell these banks, these two banks. No reason. If you can get a pullback, you can buy them. All right. Well, and we'll add this bank to our list of banks too. We'll keep an eye on this one, Deutsche Bank. All right. Hope that helps. TSSI and BBAI. Let's take a look. So with the Russell turning around, we could be more aggressive with these small caps, and I do expect rallies out of all of them, no matter the count. So here you have a nice 3-wave move. It's in the buy area. It looks like it's turning, right? So it should come out. It should come out of this. 5 up. So that could be done, right? There's no reason to think. Now, it didn't make it to the 4, so there's always a possibility it could fail. So you should be about to bounce, but we don't know if the bounce will fail or not. So we'll just leave that there. And I have no idea what these guys do. And then BBAI is one, of course, we traded perfectly and got in and out of that before it collapsed. And now we're in this, remember the C leg, but it needs a counter trend rally, right? It needs a counter trend rally. So it's going to rally back up. The wave 4 is back to 6. It could rally back to 6. It may already be starting it. Like it may already be, but there's no setup. Like this is totally speculative, but it could easily do this and then come back down later like that. But it looks like it's turning. So if you want to play in the casino, right? Quantum stocks are moving. Just market buy it. Market buy it. Put your stop at 291 and let the casino give you pay on this fifth wave retrace. But don't fall in love with it, please God. Don't fall in love with it. Don't do what happened here. A lot of people, traders, fall in love with it and they lost. We didn't. We bought it here and we sold it here. Perfect trade. A lot of people just held out of hope and they lost everything. We don't do that. We get in and out. But maybe there's another opportunity to get in, and I believe I've already added that back. Yeah. So our elite members, these are the things we'll show our elite members, guys. And then that was TTSSI. All right. MSTR is in a connector. You don't trade it, right? Now you could short it. There's still a short opportunity here in this short box in this three-wave move. The divergence is where you want it. It's an active short trade for people that want to take it, but it is technically, it could be in a connector here. So if we take this out, the short is lost. So you don't want to be in it. The 10-year bond on Germany here. Let me go back. German bonds. German, yeah. Once you break this high, rates are going to explode higher, right? And we've been saying that was going to happen across world markets. That gets you to 6.5%. Oh yeah, this is a major turn. This is a major turn. It's about to do it. Yeah, rates are about to get really hot in Europe. Really hot. It looks like a major cycle's over, right? It's been over, right? But now it's breaking out. So, but it is still in B. So respect the fact that it could chop around, right? It could still play around like this, right? It could still do that. So there's no one, but once we take this high out, the door is open for a massive move higher. So I don't know. It's in the middle area, the shorter time frame, but it definitely will resolve higher. But it looks like it wants to explode out. So go refinance your shit now. Like I would be calling your bank right now to refinance. I don't want to short China, anything China related until there's more clarity with the dollar index breaking higher and the China made a higher high sequence. So I don't really want to short anything related to China. It looks like you've got 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. Yeah, I mean, it's tempting to short. I hear what you're saying. Because if this is a big connector, it's an ideal short. But it could also be an impulse, right? It could also be a 1, 2, and then it could turn into something like this, which I erased divergence. So it would be more like an ABC, right? It could do that. So I don't want to short it until it, like, but yeah, I see the temptation and why you would do it. It does look very corrective, and it is in the area. So maybe you could short it here and just close your short if it goes back over 27, and try to play that, guess that pattern, and see if something like this plays out. Because it would be like it would go back to the single digits and lower, or even 0, if you're right. The GDX, GDXJ, all those stocks should make a high and then pull back still is what I'm thinking. Is what I'm thinking here. So we made another high. Again, I wouldn't. I'm looking at this as still a more upside. I'm not ready to say it's a whole new bull market, and this is too. But we have to be smart about it too. So I think for the gold miners, where we are with it is probably a different structure. It's probably some kind of a flat, and we'll do something like that. That's what I think is going to happen. Where does the B wave end is anyone's guess. It could go as high as 46, 48 before it reverses. So I think that's the structure we're seeing develop. I don't think it's a new bull market in gold mine. I think gold is peaking. Like, yeah, gold can make another swing higher to take this higher, but why are the gold miners trading way down here and not way up here? Like, there's a massive divergence still. Even though they may have broke the high, there's still a massive divergence there. So there's some misalignment with the market on that. And then the GDXJ is kind of the same chart, same idea, where I believe it will do a flat, come up, and come back down. I really believe that's going to happen. I'm not convinced because of how we bottomed here that this is sustainable. Now, I do think you could see higher prices. You could go to 58, 59. So I think in the shorter time frame, you will see more upside because I think there will be some momentum and some FOMO into these areas, but I would watch out for the rug pull. Okay. XLE, our chart on the XLE shows more downsides needed, but it is in a very, they're desperately trying to resurrect it. Now here, I've had this count. It only looks like it's down in 3 here. So very tough area to get a count on. It could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it comes back up again. Could even still be in 2. Could even still be in B. I don't think this was the low, or here. This is the low. I mean, maybe I could talk myself into it. Perhaps I can, but that would be like a 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you could come back and take out 94.48, then I believe then you could say the major low is in, and I would just market buy it and go with it. Okay. And the last one, real quick, total market cap, and then I got to run. So I'm going through these quickly, but I want to get this done for you. Total market cap. Again, it's in the same situation. It wasn't in this bullish setup like I had. It was in a more bearish setup here, and it looks like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're pulling back and correcting the whole move. And it looks like you're down in 3, so you should rally and then fail, but you ultimately want to come down to here. All right, guys, I got to run. I'm sorry I had to cut this short, but I think I got to everyone's questions. You can DM me if I don't get your questions. All right, guys, talk to you later. Yeah, sorry guys, I had to cut this live stream and kind of fly through those last questions. I think I answered everyone's questions properly. If you feel like I rushed through them in any way, please, again, DM me on X. I will follow back up. I can make a short little clip later and upload it for you. But I believe I covered everybody's question to the best of my knowledge and charts. But anyway, good luck out there. But yeah, I have to run. Personal thing I got to get to. And again, yeah, trade desk is getting annihilated, Amit. And we knew that was happening. Unfortunately, I'm looking for unthinkable targets that I can't even say on this live stream without people, again, getting angry and wanting to shoot the weatherman. But if you're long it, just use opportunity of strength to get out of that.